Hi everybody, Cheyenne here. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you should address your husband if you're looking to get sober, but they're not willing to get sober with you, much less support your own journey. Now, before we dive in, for those who don't know, I am the founder of Sobriety 7, which is my community and coaching program focused on helping women get effortlessly sober in 120 days by helping them create the life that they no longer want to escape from. Over the past year and a half, I have helped several women hit their first year of sobriety, but most importantly, helped other women transition out of stressful jobs, getting rid of toxic people or negative people around them. I've helped them love themselves again. And in some cases, I've helped them exit their toxic relationships when they weren't willing to go with them. So you're really going to love this one. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we are gonna break this sucker down into 3 easy stages for you and I to both understand. Clear, cool, calm, and concisely, all right? So the first thing is you're gonna need to recognize that this is all on you. It's not on them, it's on you. So that's for you to take complete ownership. This journey starts with you, it does not start with them. Some of the things that will help you that you can focus on is find a community. It doesn't even have to be my community, but find a freaking community. It's too risky to depend on somebody who isn't on the same path as you. What's gonna end up happening is you two are gonna enable each other, right? You're gonna be like, oh, I'm not drinking, and then he's gonna be like, oh, come on, just 1 glass of wine, honey. Like, you're okay, you don't have a problem. I literally lived this truth. I was 2.5 months sober, went to Cancun, and like an idiot, I try to talk to my partner and be like, look at how good I'm doing, needing that validation. He told me, he's like, yeah, I guess you don't have a problem. Look at you. Like, we'll have a safe word. We'll say trash panda if you get 2 out of pocket. Guess what I did? I went balls to the walls once I got that green card. So this is why you don't rely on your partner in the beginning. You rely on your community or your community leader or your coach, right? Another option would be writing a letter just for you at first, all right? That lays out exactly how you're feeling and what you're feeling, what you're needing, what you're hoping for. These are the things that you want to just like pen to paper, get it out. This helps you get clear on what you're looking for when it comes to moving forward in your life. And then it's like right there, pen, paper, like you cannot mess that up. And then it's out of your head. And so it's like, this is very, very important to do. And the reason as to why this letter is so important, the letter that you're writing to yourself, for yourself, is to gain clarity. What do you want out of life? Let's say there were no problems and you had the perfect life. What does that look like for you? And when you get clear on your own life, this helps you tremendously be able to then later communicate what it is you're feeling and why you're feeling the way you are. You want to gain as much clarity from within yourself as possible. And so the next thing you're going to want to do is decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. This is where you start to set boundaries. This is where you take an opportunity to communicate that clearly, but most importantly, calmly. All right, if you come guns flaring, you ain't getting no points across. An example of this would look like, I'm not comfortable having alcohol in the house anymore, or I need space when I'm struggling, not more pressure. And the reason that we need to communicate things very clearly is to see if they respect those boundaries. Because then later in stage 3, we'll get there, and we're going to talk about what's going to happen if they don't respect the boundaries that you're setting. Also, lower your expectations, all right? You need to have 0 expectations from him, because most likely you guys met when you were drinking and he didn't sign up for this version of you. You chose each other, you drank together. He might not change. You have to be okay with that. You're changing, right? He might not be ready to do that. That's not evil. That's just, it's just reality, right? So just give it a little bit of time. Some people take months, even years to shift. Others, well, they never do. R.I.P. Dad. All right, this journey is about patience. It's not about pressure. You don't want to pressure your partner in forcing them to change. When I look at my drinking career, I know that it was my decision to end it, and it has to be their decision to end it, just like you have made this decision to end it for yourself. All right, And next step would be stage 2, address the situation. So you've probably been leading by example. You've given it enough time. You're waiting. You're trying to pull them with you. It's so much easier to pull somebody down than it is to pull somebody up. So now we're at the point where we got to address the situation. We got to make ourselves a pro and a con list. And the reason why we make this pro and con list is because you want to see what are the pros to staying with my partner and what are the cons and how does that look? And most importantly, do not sugarcoat it. Get very real about things. What is the long-term impact on your health, your kids, if you have them? And most importantly, your freaking peace, all right? Is it impacting my peace? Because that costs too much, right? So this isn't about making a decision today. It's about bringing more clarity to the surface. Just like we did in stage 1, that letter was for you. Now we're in stage 2. This is to gain even more clarity within yourself, all right? Because you want to aim to rebuild or see signs that it's time to release, right? So make a list of what both of you resent each other for. What does he resent you for? What do you resent him for? Could there be any forgiveness there? Could you guys just bury the hatchet and decide to move forward together? Because when there's anger and resentment and animosity towards each other, you never get anywhere in life, right? So make that list and see if he opens up and if he's willing to work on things outside of drinking. It's kind of like a little, just like a nudge, like, hey honey, write this list down of all the shit you hate me for. Basically. And midway through your journey, you want to ask him, are you willing to change too? This is your checkpoint. If he is not supportive, it might be time to prepare for having an exit strategy, especially if no kids are involved. If you have kids, obviously those situations get a little bit more tricky, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it come to an end. Of course, I'm not advocating for ending a relationship or ending a marriage, but if you are trying to grow, all it is doing is prolonging your growth that you're looking for and that you're working hard for. The last thing you want to do is be stuck with somebody who's complacent, right? And the last thing that you're going to want to do in stage 2 is talk it out one final time. And you can do this by writing the last letter to yourself. Get even more clear. Now that you've given it time and time has passed and things are not changing, write another letter like, what are you currently feeling? And then use that letter to help guide the conversation with your husband. You've got your first letter, you've got your pro and con letter, you've given it time, you've written out everything that you resent him for, he's written out everything he resents you for, you've forgiven, and it's still like, ugh, what are we doing? Then that is when you use the letter to have an open dialogue with him. Use that time to have a conversation with your husband and keep your emotions grounded. This isn't about the blame game, all right? You don't want to be pointing fingers because that isn't going to bring true intimacy, right? With no judgment, like I don't judge you, you don't judge me, like let's just talk like two adults, which can be hard sometimes because we are emotional beings and we're emotionally charged, but the worst reaction is an overreaction. So talk about the changes that you're making and what kind of support or help you are looking for, but aren't really getting in this moment. And when you write this letter and you do have that conversation with your husband, right, don't have any expectations, or at least prepare yourself for both realities. He either handles this and takes it really well, or it's a total shitstorm and things just like go up in even bigger flames, right? So prepare yourself, but stay grounded with your own emotions. Don't allow yourself to emotionally get involved and charged up and mad and angry and yelling and throwing shit and breaking things, because nothing good or beneficial for either of you is going to come from that conversation. So remember, no expectations, stay grounded. And this is the last stage, stage 3, final checklist. At this point, you're so over it. You're at the point where you're like, I've set my boundaries, I've set expectations, I've told you how I feel, and you're just at your end's wit. Right? So you're going to want to ask yourself these questions when you really feel like this might be the time that I leave. Before you do that, ask yourself these final questions. Have I fully communicated my needs clearly, or do I just expect them to get it? Right? It's like we can think that they know what we're feeling or thinking all goddamn day, but have you communicated your needs clearly? Right? Do I still respect them, or has resentment fully taken over? It's very hard to move forward with somebody when you resent them, when you don't forgive them, when you keep all that anger and hate in your heart. It makes having a relationship basically just impossible. Next, is my desire for growth something they truly can't match, or am I rushing their pace? Right? Did you just do this video in 2 weeks and be like, why aren't you changed? Or did you actually give them an adequate amount of time for them to get on board? Next would be, if nothing changes in 6 months or a year, can I accept that reality? Can you? I know that if I were to still be with my ex, I couldn't accept that fucking reality. Ain't no way. No. Next, do I want a partner, or am I seeking a project? Do you want to fix her up, or do you think that you can? Are you falling in love with their potential? You want to fall in love with the final product. And even from the final product, they're going to continue to grow, because when you're at that state, you want to constantly be growing, because happy people are growing people. Next, am I holding on to potential or the actual experience of the relationship? And this kind of goes back to my last one, right? It's like, am I falling in love with potential, or am I falling in love with the actual experience that we are both here being a team? And then, have I created space for them to grow, or have I already emotionally checked out? It's like, you're not gonna get a lot of work done if you're not even willing to go to that place, keeping that wall up. Last question, if I stay, what am I compromising that matters most to me? There is no perfect timeline, but there is a grounded truth. You don't want to wait forever for somebody to respect your growth, especially when the growth is life-saving. If your partner is actively making your sobriety harder, mocking you, pressuring you to drink, or disregarding those boundaries that you've set, that's not support. That is sabotage. And when somebody chooses to make your healing harder, it is time for you to start asking, is love supposed to cost me my peace? Probably not. If you want to understand how you can specifically integrate these 3 stages into your relationship by working one-on-one with me, click the first link in the description that you see to qualify and see if you're able to book a call with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace!